Capitol Steps today. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show doing some live news coverage. Hearing the sounds of some bongos being hit by Colorblind. Colorblind's on the stage. You can't see him from this angle. We got Messi, J, and Codini with Colorblind going to do some singing right by the Capitol Steps to start things out here pretty quick. So if you will stand by, we're doing live streaming coverage of the repealtoday.org rally on the Capitol Steps in Lansing, Michigan.
Song. There it is. Hey, Steve. Where's the sound guy? Can we switch out one of these mics for mine? So this is the mic I need plugged in. I need to unplug one of them. All right, Cody, hold this for me, Cody. All right, brother. Now this one right here. Let's go. Message, you press play yet? Cody, you got a sound check? Let's move real quick, as quick as we ever have. Hey, you guys want to smoke them all? What do you want to do? Okay. All right, let's get the sound check.
Guaranteed to feel good. She's my medicine.
Check one, check two. Message out here, my check one, check one.
Guaranteed to feel
check two, turn it up. Sounding good, Messi, let's go. Lansing, how y'all at? How y'all feeling, Capitol Hill? Make some noise if you're feeling alive on a Tuesday. Hit 'em. My vision through a cloud, smoke out the whole crowd. And no, I won't allow these one-timers to get loud and kick us out, fuck that. Get your glass packed, get lifted to this track. If y'all with us, then where you at? Where you at? We like to smoke while we rockin' the show. So if you got a problem with the endo, then it's the dough. Straight puff session where we messin' with the dank. Res in a new dimension, breathe some green up in the game. Who got the Jane? No Janky Jane, time to blaze them things. Detroit games will stay in your brain, and I ain't playing.
Guaranteed to feel
Make you feel good.
She's my medicine.
Yes,
Guaranteed to feel good.
my vision through a cloud, smoke out the whole crowd. And no, we won't allow these police to get loud and kick us out, fuck that. Get your glass packed, get lifted to this track. If y'all with us, then where you at? We We like to smoke while we rockin' the show. So if you got a problem with the endo, then it's the dough. Straight puff session when we messin' with the dank. Bout the resident new dimension, bring some green up in the game. No janky Jane, time to blaze them things. Detroit gains will stain your brain. And we ain't playing, we gon' kick it. No ticket, getting rhymes enriching. We never quittin', getting lit. We puff tough up in the mittens.
Breather in the heel, yeah. Guaranteed to feel good.
Make it feel real good, y'all.
My medicine. Breather in the heel, yeah. Guaranteed to feel good.
Through a cloud, smoke out the whole crowd. I'm vision through a cloud, smoke out the whole crowd.
Guaranteed to feel good.
Hey, y'all listen to Messy J and Codeine, the original Colorblind. We still killing it from the filth of the myth. Bumping that slum, feeling guilty, simp. And we ain't getting no checks from Nike. Mad skills, athletic when we said it like the Mike League. Feds are shiesty, go ahead and indict me. Yeah, I might be just a little fed up with life. Already read me my rights. Police want our throats at the end of a night for the identity crisis. Living penitentiary tight. Here's a pen for your wife till I'll be gone to November, so remember to write. Yeah, right, I'm just keeping my freedom, deacon my demons and leave them defeated. And keep building for lyrically able MCs that claim they murderous but wouldn't dare to be fatal. Y'all got some audacity, acting all immature. I'ma kick in the door. How many more rappers do I really need to whip on the porch?
Give you a space and time. Ain't no sleeping.
Cool it out.
Your song can't help but sing along while I'm falling.
And police brutality.
Laid away in the midnight hour. I think I better turn off the light.
Insomnia.
The rooster crews. Everybody up and goes, but I'm
Chronic fatigue. We waking you up today.
Repeal.
We hit the Capitol with an original groove for my party peeps who wanna get in the mood. I don't stick to the rules, cause I'm writing my own. Think you're nice at microphones, I let you fight for the throne. In every show I did, always made it difficult for rappers outside the able click to coexist. I'm going big without the glow in the wrist. I'm point like my bro Nick when he's throwing a disc. And I was colder than most of y'all when I was only a kid. Smarties happens, artists out here acting so seasoned. You're out cold dreaming, selling yourself short for no reason. Yeah, you flow decent, but you think you're the man till you're sinking in the sand. And when you reach for a hand, no one will be there to answer the call. Now you just jabbing your jaws about mashing some bras while you dance in the hall. I kick raps that evolve with no caskets involved. Colorblind, I keep the stash in the jar. Ain't no crack in my jaw if I'm standing on your bar, but I still stand for the cause. You better stay inside after dark, cause these vampire police are after your heart. They after your heart.
That was in my mind. Take me to a space and time. Ain't no sleeping.
Insomnia, we wide awake.
This simple song can't help but sing along while I'm
Boudica, Boudica, hemp plantation. Boudica, Boudica, free this nation.
laid awake in the midnight hour. I think I better turn off the light.
Wake up,
When the rooster
wake up.
crows, everybody up and goes, but I'm still sleeping.
Yeah. And the prohibition of medical marijuana, y'all. Let's go.
That goes in my mind.
Don't forget to register to vote.
Music on the time, yeah. Oh yeah.
We don't want law enforcement to get into our personal business. Let's keep it going. All we can do is bear witness. The name's Colorblind, I'm so gifted. Shout out to the medical marijuana movement in the act of 08. I'm feeling so great. Sun shining today. We standing for a cause. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate everybody. That's Echoes in My Mind off my album, Natural Ability. Messy J, Codini. Cool. All right, how much time we got here? Keep rolling, let's go.
Got to get that paper, M-O-N-Y. Got to get that paper, not having. Oh, said I work all week, never get much sleep. Said I sweat, said I never get relief. Gotta get that green, like the money machine. Think I use up all my pepper, said I guess he can get my breath. Said I'm working for that paper, M-O-N-Y. Working for that paper. Oh, said from one end to another, about to borrow from my brother. Dig it. The bill collectors after me, yeah they are. I got some from my lover, even maxed out my Discover. Them people man in the yard to get my car. Got to get that paper, M-O-N-Y. Got to get that paper. Oh yeah, said I got to get that paper, M-O-N-Y. Got to get that paper. The more I make, oh, the more they seem to take. The people want the money. That kind of jingle, but I'd rather have that kind of foes. If that's your mind,
Put your hands up, y'all, come on. I know it's early.
Make the world go round. Oh, yeah. Oh. Trying to control the crash crop.
Yeah, y'all, come on. You're cooling out with the sounds of Messy J and Coldini right now. As funky as it's gonna get, trust me.
That paper.
Electric voice phenomenon coming soon.
Gonna get that paper.
Natural ability coming soon.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Paper. Oh.
Messy J and Coldini, y'all. All right. I'm gonna slow it down for everybody. Hey, Coldini, let's talk to him about it, man.
Well, the mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. Well, the mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing, baby.
Live from the northwest edge of the depression. Gotta be here to understand why we stressing. Midwest fresh, ain't no second guessing for all my Michiganders that's out here representing. Live from the northwest edge of the depression. Gotta be here to understand why we stressing. Midwest fresh, ain't no second guessing for all my Michiganders that's out here representing. A whole lot of haters, y'all were keeping them working. I feel their evil presence and I'm seeing them lurking. They ain't ready for change, only worried about one person. And when you sign your deal, you see the devil smirking. The wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. The wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. Yeah, I hear you talking reckless. I'm pushing on through the madness, I'm calm and collected. And I ain't never had ish, so go pawn your necklace. I'm bringing the raw message, don't get mauled for breakfast. What you call hectic when the beast out the cage. MCs follow Messy J, cause we gon' lead the way. The heat ablaze, leave a stage off in a fever state. These wages ain't by itch down here, I think I need a raise. The people need a change from the uniform, but y'all don't want a Whitlock squad and you been warned. Time to move aside and let the truth prevail and get the hell up out our face talking about what you do to sell. Hip-hop is straight from the feeling. So party people out in Lansing, tell me how you feeling. I know you're tired of hanging with them straight killers. I remain writing lyrics to music by Jay Dilla and stay building till I'm in my grave chilling, feeling fam, raised children. That's such a great fulfillment. Gotta serve a purpose. Be an honest man of your word in these streets, cause if not, it's worthless. Colorblind's a name and I'm not for purchase. Rock the earth with some other universes. This is not commercial. Stop the murder while y'all acting nervous. It's 33rd, bringing real music back to the local circuit. A whole lot of haters, y'all were keeping them working. I feel their evil presence and I'm seeing them lurking. They ain't ready for change, only worried about one person. And when you sign your deal, you see the devil smirking. Ha ha, the wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. The wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. Listen, what's going on in Michigan? Take a look around. Did a bit this city on drugs, every cop is crooked now. Things are looking down, but you won't see us looking down. I was present on that fatal day when they took him out. Like a president that shook in the crowd. Colorblind visiting your city, you better book him now. And watch how you conduct yourself. If nothing else, till we stuck in the cell, puffing nails like what the hell. These days we gotta help each other more than ever. Frigid hearts really ain't too warm in December. Crime continues to build. Ain't it crazy how it's swarm in November? Worn like that old sweater. You were warned, you should've known better. Man, I ain't waiting on no one, cause we some go-getters. Even when the snow won't let up in Michigan, the souls are better be careful y'all don't end up getting let up all over some cheddar. The wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. The wealth mission is self-fulfilling, but it's only yourself you're killing. A whole lot of haters, y'all were keeping them working. I feel the evil presence and I'm seeing them lurking. They ain't ready for change, only worry about one person. And when you sign your deal, you see the devil smirking.
Want to say something? Want to put it out there? If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right back. I want to be on you.
Top of the hill.
Wait.
Yeah, your baby mama. Oh yeah.
I wanna be on you, baby. Yo, I'm on top of the world. Whoa. All the people say, I wanna be on you, baby. Yo, feel on top of the world. Always said I feel on top of the world, yeah. I wanna be on you, baby. Yo, feel on top of the world. I can't find this feeling, baby. Yo, feel on top of the world. Whoa. I got fire, wind, rain, and earth. Ooh. And it feels like I'm on top of the world.
Top of the world.
Oh, Mary, she's so good to me.
Top of the world. Top of the world.
Hey.
Ganja planet on top of the planet. Never problematic, these cats are only rhyming average. Man, they rockin' lavish, boy, you lollygagging. Man, they probably an addict with a lot of baggage. We could take it to a level that they can't imagine. On some Johnny Cash, till I hit my casket. I'ma elevate my cranium state. Stay atop my game like it's 1988 aeroladium skates. And we on top of the hill. I don't rock with a crowd, I just rock it at will. And we can stand for something while they falling for nothing. Colorblind, Messy J, Codini, we never frontin'. Alright, y'all, you going out with Messy J, Codini, and Colorblind right now. Downtown Lansing, Capitol
so
building.
Sweet to me. She's always there. I said, I wanna be on you, baby. Said, I'm feeling on top of the world.
We got one song left and we out of here.
I can't fight this feeling, baby. No, feel on top of the world. I wanna be on you, baby. Oh, feel on top of the world. Can't fight this feeling, baby. No, feel on top of the world. Oh, I said I got a fire, wind, that rain and hell. And it feels like I'm on top of the world, top of the world, top of the hill,
Top of the world,
Top of the world, top of the world.
How y'all feeling out there tonight? Today, this afternoon?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm top of the world.
Reach for the sky, hungry.
Yeah, y'all. We got one last song. You might recognize it from last Saturday on the radio. It's called Have Nots.
Big shots,
Big shots.
say low on the totem pole.
Now they run the whole show.
Oh, it was have-nots,
Have-nots.
two big shots,
Big shots.
say low on the totem pole.
Now they run the whole show.
Oh, we was poor folks on bicycle spokes. Oh, and now we high class.
Riding in Cadillacs.
Oh, and from swag bags. Oh, to purple hash. Some from blunt raps, y'all. Oh, to blown glass. Have-nots, to them
Cash crops.
oh, cash crops, to the
Parking lots.
Now
Now
they
they ride to the big time. Living in a lap of luxury.
yeah, they
All
all
them creature comforts that a man can need. Now they living in a lap of luxury. All them creature comforts that a man can need.
have-nots,
Have-nots.
to high class. I'm talking neighbors to that blown glass. To a two-room shack, to a high-rise jack. They made it up the hill, oh, and they ain't never looking back. They went from the poorhouse, oh, to the highest tax brackets. Used to play that basketball, now they swinging them tennis rackets. Oh, from low class,
Tell 'em.
oh, to high class.
What
I'm
else?
talking about paper to blown glass. From backpacks, now they counting money stacks. They used to eat table scratch, now they rolling with the aristocrats. And they living in a
Lap of luxury. All them creature comforts that a man can need. Now they living in a lap of luxury. All them creature comforts that a man can need.
Take it home, fellas.
Don't forget to vote. It was only an herb. Oh, you stay
Take
back
it home.
dancing in them three-piece suits.
Don't wanna go to ball. Now they run the whole show.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for taking a pause for the cause.
Hey, that was Messy J and Codini with original. we already unplugged 2, put 2 back in. I don't know.
Yeah, we plugged all that in. Yeah.
He's back.
All right, so they're going to begin speakers here, repositioning cameras, getting ready for the first group of people to come up and start talking. You're watching live coverage of the Lansing Capitol Rally for repealtoday.org on radioweedshow.com. Check, 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 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, checking 1, 2. Checking 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, checking 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. For those of you listening to the live stream, we're doing this audio check because we're plugging into the sound. Are we up? Can we pot it up? Can we test this?
Not yet. I didn't want to disconnect this thing. He said, hold on. So I'll just wait a second.
Okay. Check, 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 check. I'm not getting any audio. Check, 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 check. You're plugged in, but we're not turned up. We're not turned up. He's got to turn us up. Check, check, check.
You found the next generation of classic rock. 106.7 The D.
understands that 40 years of the drug war is 40 years too many. And so one of the things I wanted to do as we begin and gather in a circle is to take a moment of silence to remember the victims of this very serious drug war that has hurt society in so many ways. It has torn families apart. It's given people who are otherwise completely law-abiding citizens felony records and misdemeanor records, and impacted their rights in oh so many ways, to housing and to college loans. And so it starts and perpetuates the cycle of poverty and neglect and abuse that is so wrong. And it's not the marijuana that's causing this. Cannabis is an herb. It's a healing herb. It's not cannabis that creates this damage. It is prohibition which creates this damage. And so that causes us to come forth in this rally to repeal prohibition. So at this time, though, let's take a moment of silence to remember those victims of this outrageous drug war. So, with that spirit in mind, we know that we can and will make a difference. And it is up to those of us here today and those of us who couldn't be here but are with us in spirit to take this upon ourselves. And what we are doing is we are petitioning the government for a redress of our grievances. And we have grievances. We have grievances about the marijuana laws, that they were passed and perpetuated through fraud, that the American Medical Association did not understand, was not, actually they wanted to hold it up, but their lobbyist was already too far down the line, where they didn't realize that it was hemp that was being outlawed when they called it marijuana. They thought it was some kind of an evil drug, when actually, if you know the history, the Park Davis Pharmaceutical Company, which was headquartered in Detroit, 3 blocks from my offices, back in the early 1900s, made cannabis pharmaceutical medications. And they worked. And they worked. They worked so well that the pharmaceutical companies didn't want them around anymore. And the other parts of the cannabis product worked so well that the chemical companies didn't want them around, and the textile companies didn't want them around, and the paper companies didn't want them around. And so that brings us to here where we are today. We've been through 3.5 years of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, and every decision of any appellate court so far that has come down has not been helpful to Michigan medical marijuana patients. Right. And so that drove us to do something more. It's my feeling that patients are not going to be protected until marijuana is legal. You know, yeah, the Department of Community Health is not helping. There's been a lot of work done to try to help medical marijuana patients, and they're still being prosecuted. The law is still being enforced on technicalities when it wasn't intended that way. As Judge Fitzgerald said, it's being used as a sword when it was intended as a shield for patients. And that needs to change, and it hasn't been changing. And it took the will of the people through the petition drive in 2008, the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, well, the 2007 petition drive in the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, to get this changed. The legislature is not doing it. If there are any legislators here, how many people here are running for office today? Now look at that.
That's what I'm talking about. We need to organize, and we are. And I hope each one of you will come forward and tell us about yourself and your campaign and what motivated you to do this and how perhaps that could help Repeal Today and the Committee for a Safer Michigan, and so that we can get this on the ballot. There are still people who are skeptical, and we know if and when this happens, we're not going to know till the last minute. I am not giving up. We have 25,000 signatures. We need 323,000 signatures. That is a huge hurdle and a large battle. But you know, if every one of us turned out for a fireworks night in Detroit, we could probably get 100,000 signatures that night, if every one of us did. And especially if we bring a couple of friends and we hit a few more events like that, or a lot more events like that, everywhere in every county, but especially where the population is, in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb, and Kent County, and down in Monroe, and in Washtenaw, and Saginaw, and Kalamazoo. All right. And thank you. There are people in the UP working really hard, and that's really great. But you know what? If we get all the signatures of every registered voter in the UP, that's still not enough to get it on the ballot. But if we get the signatures of every registered voter in Oakland County, that is enough to get it on the ballot. So there we go. I want to turn it over to some of the candidates and give them some time. But we have a special guest here today, just by coincidence. Ed Rosenthal was in town doing a grow session on Saturday in Warren, and I happened to stop by there late as they were breaking up and had the thought, well, Ed, would you speak at the Capitol on Tuesday, and what's it about, he wanted to know. And I said, well, we're trying to repeal the marijuana laws in Michigan, and we have this petition drive for a constitutional amendment, and I'll let him tell you his opinion about our constitutional amendment to repeal prohibition for adults 21 and over in Michigan for industrial and commercial and medical and religious and personal and industrial use, all of those things. And it's my great honor and privilege to introduce to you the guru of growing, Mr. Ed Rosenthal.
Hi, folks. So, I wanted to talk about reasoning first why marijuana is illegal today, and I'm not talking about the past, and I'm not going to go into the history, but why it's illegal today, and what we have to do about it, and what the reasons are. Well, the reason marijuana is illegal now is because there are special interest groups that profit from it. And they all deal with the criminal justice system. And for a long time, the pharmaceutical companies were not interested in it. Now, once again, they're interested in cannabis since we've proven that it is medical. But our main opposition, and the opposition that's putting up the fight, is the entire criminal justice system, all segments of it. It starts with the beat cop, the narc, the DAs, prosecutors, jailers, postpartum stuff, you know, like probation, parole, all that crap. And what this is really about for them is there are two reasons why the police are opposed to it. And the first is that it's a jobs issue for them. It's just a jobs issue. Keeping people in jail, putting them in jail, arresting them. It costs state, city, state, and federal. Please stop spraying that. Hey, excuse me. Hey, stop spraying that around. Terrible perfume. Okay. So so the cities, both city, state, and federal government spend probably about $40 billion a year on it, and that's about 5% of the criminal justice budget, but they might very well spend more because marijuana is an upward funnel. A certain percentage of people get arrested, but more of them go to jail. And you know, a lot of us don't see it because if you notice, most of us here are white, but nationally, a lot more blacks and other non-white people are affected a lot more by it because they have more arrests for it. Like in New York City, they specialize in arresting black men for marijuana. In San Francisco, a black user is male user is 16 times more likely to be arrested than a white. So it's also a race issue. But the main thing here is that for the cops, it's a jobs issue. And then there's a second thing. Because of these laws, only a certain subgroup of people have chosen to become cops. Because people like you don't want to be cops because you'd be enforcing these crazy laws. And this subgroup of people is very authoritarian, they're racist, and you know what? I think that every cop should have to pass a psychological examination. But if they did, we'd have hardly any people on the police force, because if they weren't crazy when they got in there, they have PTSD now, and people with PTSD should not be carrying guns. And you can see the violence that they have just in the rates of spousal violence in police relationships. That is, their relationships with their spouses, girlfriends, and things like that, and they have a much higher rate than the general population. These people are crazed. Okay, but we'll get past that. Then the other reason why marijuana is illegal is the police state issue. And that is that ever since we've been living, any of us has been living, the state has been creating more and more laws, making things that used to be handled informally to have it handled as felonies. Kids get felonies that they can never get rid of for the rest of their lives that trail them. And it's the idea of felonizing the entire country and making this a police state. And you know, the marijuana laws are very convenient for that because there are so many people who are violating the law. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're it. Take them with you. 800,000 people a year. And you know that the Democratic presidents have been much worse than the Republicans. The Republicans talk a big talk, but it was the Democrats that, for instance, Clinton, when it went up from 400,000 arrests a year to 750,000 arrests a year. And now this pogrom that we're having against dispensaries all over the country, here, Colorado, California, anywhere where there are dispensaries by the federal government, that's a Democratic president also. So the second reason is this idea of the police state. And the idea is that if we take back California, and I mean, not California, if we take back these laws, just get rid of these laws, then the police don't have that lever to deal with people, to felonize people, to arrest people, to get more money for their police cars and everything. And you know that it's much more profitable for police to arrest a marijuana user or marijuana dealer because they might have some money as opposed to, let's say, a heroin dealer. Well, what do you have? Well, I have another pair of pants with holes like these. Well, you know, well, on the present day market, those holy pants might be worth something, but not much. But then we have, but the idea is that they are fighting It's not just about marijuana. It's not just about the substance. It's not just the behavior. They're fighting to keep the police state. And when we change these marijuana laws and take the police out of the marijuana laws, take them out of the equation, that is the first step in retaking America for freedom. And you know what? I don't know if there are any Tea Party people here, but this is the very same issue that the Tea Party has to a great extent about people's freedom to indulge in behavior that they want to indulge in. So it's common among all people. This is the idea. I know that Steve D'Angelo talks about wellness, and wellness is a great issue. I don't put wellness down. I think wellness is great. Everybody wants wellness. Everybody looks towards wellness, but that isn't the issue. Freedom is the issue. That's what it's about. It's about freedom. It's about our right to behave however we like, as long as we're not bothering society. That's what it's about. You know, this is what we were talking about 40 years ago, and it's not been a popular thing, but it's really about freedom. It's about victimless crimes. It's about police overreaching, and it is not about marijuana. The issue isn't marijuana. As long as we keep talking about marijuana as the issue, no, the issue is the law. We have no problem with it. Who thinks marijuana is an issue? Nobody here. The law is the issue. What is this law doing to society? Is this law worth it? Is any law against marijuana worth it? No! That's what this is about. And that's what we have to start telling people. It's not just, oh, marijuana isn't harmful, blah, 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 blah. Marijuana is good for you. We all know that marijuana is one of the few herbs or drugs that we can take that enhances our life. That and Viagra, right? Okay, so, but you know, Viagra was very important for this reason. It was the first pharmaceutical that, even though they were saying, oh, it's some deficiency or something, it was talking about enhancing life. It was talking about taking you not to zero the way Western medicine does, you know, okay, you're okay now, but taking you above okay. And that's what marijuana does. It's a life enhancement. And we know that. And we know how much wellness marijuana promotes, don't we? Even so, that isn't the issue. Even though it helps medical people, and you and I know how much it helps medical people. That isn't the issue in this case. That isn't the issue. The issue is the laws. The laws that affect people far, far more than marijuana, than the use of marijuana. The laws that make them into felons. The laws that actually create death, jailing, misery, family breakups. They're not created by marijuana. Marijuana doesn't do any of that. It's the laws, and that's what we have to get rid of. And now, I have to tell you something. I don't know anything about this constitutional amendment. I haven't read it. But I know Matt Abel. And if Matt Abel tells me that this is the one to go after, I believe him. Because he's bright, sometimes he's brilliant, he's dedicated, he knows what he's talking about it, he's been doing it for a long time, he's respected in the community, he's an activist. So when Matt Abel said to me, I need some help with this, I know just because Matt Abel put this together and is helping to get it on the ballot that this is a good initiative. And that's why every one of you should work for this. And I have a little plan here. You know, this isn't a big rally. I mean, we'd like it to be. You see all the phantom thousands of people that are between us to make this really crowded? Can you feel it? I can't. But we all have friends. And if you and a couple of friends all promise, not only promise, but do, each brings in 1,000 signatures over 60 days, right? So when you think about that, that's only about 15 signatures a day. It's only about 15 signatures a day. Let's say you brought in 20 signatures a day. You devoted 20 signatures a day of time, of gathering time, and your friends did, and some of their friends did, and just 1,000 people here in Michigan did that. And there are some good people that aren't going to be able to do that, and there are some people that are going to bring in more. We're on the ballot. That's what it's about. That's what this is about. And that's what this rally is about. And that's why we don't have the free food table here. And that's why we're not trying to get every Joe who wants to come to a rally with some great music. And we have Tommy Chung here who's going to entertain you. And, you know, we'd all be filled up. And those people would all go home and they do nothing. And you and I know that. You know, I call them rally bums. That's what I call them. They're there for the free music. Hey, but do you have $1 for the movement? Hey man, I just spent my last money on, you know, bus fare. Oh, but I have this eighth that's only $10. Oh, maybe I have some money in my back pocket. You know, those are the rally bums. You're not rally bums. You're the dedicated. You're the people who take this seriously. That's why we can speak one-to-one on this. This is about us. This isn't, I'm not going to tell you how great marijuana is. You know it, you know. I hate it when I go to rallies of the choir and that people start telling me how great it is. It doesn't mean anything because we know that. It's a waste of our time. What we have to do is devise strategies to get it on the ballot. That's the important thing. Right? Yeah. Right? Now look, I could do this thing, well, how many people are going to work on this? It doesn't matter. You know, everybody can raise their hand or not raise their hand. That doesn't matter. What matters is what you do going forward. Your being here today is just a down payment on the work that I expect you to do in the next 55 days. That's what this is about. That's what this rally is about. And the reason why we're holding it here at the Capitol, people here, they might look down, they might say, look, it's not a big rally. No, but it's a rally of the dedicated. And that's what they don't know. Let them take a good look. Because from this small group, we can spread out as a core. Here it is. We are the core, right here. There are people who drove all the way from the Upper Peninsula. There are people from the Detroit area. There are people from Ann Arbor. This is it. We're going to do it. We can do it, but it takes a special dedication. And I know that you didn't come for the music. So I know that you're dedicated. And you just have to redouble your dedication for this 55 days. And we can win. It's a hard drive. And look, you know, it would be much easier if there was some multimillionaire here who says, well, here's $10,000, here's $50,000. It would be nice. Maybe it will happen. But we're not expecting it. We're trying to get it, but we're not expecting it. So we have to do it ourselves. And that's why I want to applaud you. I mean, you've been applauding me, but I want to applaud you for coming out here, for dedicating yourself to this, to doing this, to being real, and to seeing marijuana legal. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here to talk with you.
Thank you, Ed Rosenthal. Give it up. Let me hear you. Yes. Who wants to legalize? I'm sorry. I couldn't actually hear you. I don't know if those folks in there could hear you either. Who wants to legalize? Chuck Greene wants to legalize too. Give it up for Mr. Greene.
Thank you very much, folks. It's great to have a chance to talk to you today. I'm going to be driving Ed to the airport, so I got to be on quickly. Do you know that during the time that cannabis was used as a medicine between 1850 and 1930, that no one ever mentioned that it got people high? It was perfectly tolerable. It was perfectly strong. No one even was bothered with that fact. I was talking with Steve D'Angelo a couple weeks ago, and he says it was that prohibition bureaucracy, that Hearst newspaper, that planted the whole idea of that it was an inebriant. And before that, no one even thought of it as a high. I believe in legalization because I'm an American. I know that a plant cannot possibly be illegal. It's absurd and disgusting. The concept that you could put somebody, an American, in jail for a plant. So unbelievably disgusting. And our great leader, Dr. Grinspoon, Dr. Lester Grinspoon, has said that we're never going to accomplish medical. We're never going to accomplish using cannabis in terms of wellness until we have complete legalization. Because there's too many problems with it. People are still too frightened about too many things, and it'll never get its full use by a mass of people for all the needs it needs to be used for until we have legalization. And another great doctor, one of the greatest doctors in the world, Dr. Andrew Weil, said that probably about 20% of people will end up using some form of cannabis medicine. That's a lot of people. And it's coming soon. Cannabis is going to be one of the great medicines of this century. It is, they say to us, you can't do that. It's a Schedule I drug. You're really bad. This is a Schedule I drug. And the fact is that it is a disgrace for them. It is a disgrace on them to call this a Schedule I drug. It shows their foolishness and banality and their willingness to sacrifice American citizens for a complete myth. Because what is a Schedule I drug? A Schedule I drug has no accepted medical use. It is not safe for use even under medical supervision, and it has a high potential for addiction. So there's no possibility that cannabis could be a Schedule I drug, and there were never any hearings or any evidence presented to make cannabis a Schedule I drug. So it's a shame on America. It's a shame on the United States government that it's a Schedule I drug. It's not our problem, it's their problem to fix and take it off scheduling. It doesn't need to be on scheduling at all. It's a plant, for crying out loud. It grows out of the ground and always has for 5,000 years, and every medical text since the beginning of writing has had cannabis in it as a medicine. We're the only place now in history that can decide cannabis isn't a medicine. No, the government doesn't decide that. People decide that by what works in their own body. We are running campaigns, local campaigns. This state campaign, we want this to succeed. We're running local campaigns of 3 different types in Michigan as well. Let me just mention one type, lowest law enforcement priority. We're running that in Ypsilanti and Jackson this year. In Kalamazoo last year, to make cannabis law enforcement the lowest law enforcement priority of law enforcement in Kalamazoo. The people voted in an off-year election in a conservative town, 2-1. 2-1 in favor of making it the lowest law enforcement priority possible. Any report has to be done before that. So you see, at the core, in their hearts, these voters don't support cannabis prohibition anymore. And we're going to put a lot of things on the ballot locally to illustrate that point. The voters don't support it anymore, and it destroys people's lives. In my life, I had a terrible gut problem in 1968. I think cannabis got me through it and helped me save my life. Half of the people in my family are dead from alcohol. My sister's dead from bourbon, and my father's dead, and my brother's almost dead. And so this stomach problem, it might not be all bad, because I've got cannabis to give me a chance to have a normal life like other people, and I deserve as much as anyone else to have a normal life and be able to use herbs that grow out of the ground that have been used by people for thousands of years for simple relief. And it is relief of the body. It is relief of your soul. It is relief of your spirit. It is connection with the Holy Mother God for me. You know, some of these new contracts with Corrections Corporations of America have guarantees of 90% occupancy. The jail will be kept full during the time of the contract. This is being written into private companies that are being given the prisoners that they're collecting and then selling their labor to corporations, just like in other parts of American history where people have been put in jail and sold off to companies making much less than the minimum wage. Another reason we've got to solve this drug war, stop this drug war, is we're never going to get to the big problems of society. We're never going to get to the basic ecological problems we face unless we can break through these old myths. And this is the core myth we've got to break through. Let's always remember, it has nothing to do with cannabis. I think Ed said this. It has nothing, almost nothing to do with cannabis. It's about an illegitimate policy, an illegitimate rationale for social control. For social control. They can go into any group of people. They have a right to smell your car, a right to smell your house, a right to bother you, a right to get into your pockets, a right that is un-American. You have a Fourth Amendment that's supposed to be protecting your rights against search and seizure. All of our Bill of Rights are gone now because of this drug war, and it is anti-American, it's racist, it's absurd, and it destroys people's lives. And we've got to build the young people of America. We've got to invest in them as our greatest resource for the future, not destroy their lives by putting hundreds of thousands of them with arrest records and felony records. I will close with a little remark about individual freedom. I was so proud to be an American. When I was a kid, I was just going to go kill redcoats, you know, because they were against the American revolutionaries. And I was willing to die killing redcoats. Our freedom is absolutely critical. But what is the core of freedom? What is the basis of freedom? It is your own consciousness, what goes on inside your own head. And if we don't have the freedom of consciousness, the freedom to decide how we feel, then what other freedoms are meaningful? That is the central freedom, and this is about social control, not about cannabis. We're the real patriots. We're the ones that are fighting for American rights, and when this is all over, people are going to look back and say, that was terrible. Oh, I didn't really believe in that. But someone's got to make them, push them over the edge. We've got to get involved, and we're going to stop cannabis prohibition. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm jonesing for some Aquanet. That was the 12 o'clock haircuts. A block of hairband songs.
So much.
Here
Give
at
yourselves a
106.7
hand, all of our volunteers who work so hard.
We heard from...
Let's give thanks for this beautiful, blessed day in the sunshine in the May, the eyes of May.
Mental health.
Once again, we're gathered here today at the State House, and I'd like to see more of us here, but I'm so glad all of you are here today. We have so much work to do, but I want to say that we've come very far, and without all of your hard work, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I want to take a moment here and invite those who are students for sensible drug policy. If you are in school now, I know a few of you are here who represent your chapters, and would invite you up and say a few words if you can. Inspire the people, give us some hope. You are our next generation. Everyone, this is Nick Zattel from Ann Arbor, University of Michigan, Students for Sensible Drug Policy.
Hello. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate that. Like you said, My name is Nick Sattel. I was the the chapter president of the University of Michigan Students for Sensible Drug Policy. I'm succeeded by an extremely brilliant young man and a great friend, Sebastian Sway Champagne. I just want to talk a little bit about my role as a student and what we do and why that's important for this move. We really try to work hard to work from the inside out, top down, and from the bottom up. So what I mean by that is with the recent medical amnesty bill that got passed, that's something that, if it didn't go through, we were going to be lobbying at the state level and also working within our university to help make sure that could be implemented as a policy to protect students. So I've been met with some opposition from the university, and also there's been a lot of help and guidance from other facets of the administration. It's the university's been very helpful, and I think one thing that they recognize is that by trying to just open the discussion about these issues, we're pushing for a more fulfilling and well-rounded and just a richer environment for education. Education is one of the most important things for SSDP. As students, I mean, if you break it down as students, one of our main commitments in life is to education until we can fulfill that. I mean, we're going to, continue learning throughout our entire lives. But SSDP was created by the DARE generation for the DARE generation. And we have our whole lives faced education that has been counterfactual, it's been biased, it's been discriminatory, it's been illogical, and it's been ineffective. So SSDP works to try to facilitate that. And one thing we do have every year at University of Michigan, we have a Know Your Rights event, just to try to push students to know how to deal with law enforcement confidently, to teach them to assert their rights, to just confidently portray themselves under any circumstance, so that they don't need to have any fear or face any legal consequences. And I think that it just doesn't make much sense. It's pretty backwards to have a sort of education for protection against law enforcement, because we don't live in a police state. I don't believe we live in a police state. I believe we live in a troubled state. The current state of things in the U.S. is somewhat troubled at the moment, and everyone recognizes that. I think that inciting discussion about these topics is more important than anything at some level. You need to be able to deal with law enforcement confidently. You need to be able to deal with employers and employees and administration confidently. You need to be able to talk about drugs with your parents and with your kids. I mean, I can't tell you how many people's minds have been changed just on one tiny little issue, and that's just from a simple conversation. And that one little issue is going to just spark a cataclysmic effect. And we're seeing that. We can see that now in our culture. It's happening there. The illuminating shift in consciousness is really something to look forward to, but more than anything, something to work for and work towards. So I can't stay too long. I'm didn't want to say too much, take up too much of your time. I want to thank everyone for being out here. And this is really something that if I wasn't out here, I mean, I wouldn't be out here if this wasn't something I truly believe in and something I'm going to be working on and working for a long time. And I know that it's not as simple as just legalize it and walk away. It's not just as simple as medicalize it and get a dispensary bill in place and just walk away. These are things that need to be scrutinized. They need to have a watchful eye kept over them. And I think that these are the people to do it. It's about time that the people who laws affected take charge of those laws and how those laws are implemented. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you all for having me. It was a real privilege to be able to speak here today. So have a nice day.
Always hiding in the covers till I talk to you, my daddy say. Said you ain't seen nothing till you're down on the muffin, then you're sure to be changing your ways. I met a cheerleader, was a real young breed, all the times I can reminisce. All the best things of loving with a sister and a cousin, only started with a little kiss like this.
representing our youth. I believe that our youth are really going to be the ones who help us the most get this on the ballot. So here's looking to a bright future. Okay, we want to appreciate our candidates because today is May 15th, and that means that's the deadline for filing to run for office. And we have several people here today who are running for office, and it's my great honor to introduce to you a gentleman who's running for Macomb County Prosecutor.
He is a Republican, and his name is Mike Rathau.
More cowbell. That's right, my name's Mike Rathau. Let me give you a little personal history. My dad was a Detroit police officer. Today, by the way, is National Police Officer Memorial Day, so I think we should, show a little respect. A lot of police officers lost their jobs, lost their lives. Some are Border Patrol agents because the Mexican drug cartels, because marijuana is illegal, the Mexican drug cartels are making a lot of money by selling marijuana to us. If marijuana was legal in all 50 states, there would be a lot less money they'd have to buy machine guns and dismember photojournalists in Mexico. I don't know if there's any journalists left here following this, but recently some photojournalists were murdered in Mexico. The Declaration of Independence mentions the right to pursue happiness. Marijuana, according to John Sinclair, is a euphoriant. It's a natural herb that grows, doesn't need to be processed at all. It kind of seems like God wanted us to have it. Genesis 1:11 talks about God brought forth the grass, the herb. A lot of people, some people call marijuana a drug, but I think a very valid argument can be made that it's an herb and not a drug. And we know it has medicinal value. It helps people. I know a lady who had a complete remission from cancer by smoking marijuana. I even have a couple things here. In 1972, a study was done on marijuana during the Nixon administration that said marijuana should not be criminalized and people should have the right to smoke it in their homes. Tricky Dick threw it in the garbage can, threw the report in the garbage can. But I'm also an artist and a writer, by the way. I went to law school later in life. The Michigan Department of Transportation, I was in court the other day, and there was a guy from the Michigan Department of Transportation that said, the Michigan Department of Transportation does not recognize the Michigan medical marijuana law. Now, I don't know how that works. They're a state agency. How can they not recognize a law that was passed by 63% of Michiganders? I don't understand that. Right. Side note, I read Michigander was coined by Abraham Lincoln, so, I think the state legislature should bring back that term. This whole politically correct thing. Well, a Michigander, that's a male goose. It's ridiculous. I'm sort of rambling here, I'm sorry, but, there is one thing I wanted to say about President Obama that's kind of funny. I am a Republican after all. Christmas Day, when the underwear bomber struck, President Obama gave a radio address from Hawaii. He didn't appear on TV. Now, why wouldn't President Obama while he's on vacation in Hawaii, not want to be on TV? Could have been those red eyes, huh? Could have been the Maui Wowie or the Kona Gold. Anyway, I think it's a great idea. We need to legalize marijuana in Michigan. We can be a trendsetter. The legislature recently watered down the act. Now they want to have a registry of people who are using marijuana, who have cancer, who need it, who are in great pain. There's young people who have been in car accidents, I've met them, who suffer legitimate pain. And some judges question that, well, there's too many people with medical marijuana cards. That's up to the doctors to decide who suffers enough pain. But it's going to be watered down. That's just the way the legislature is going to work. They're going to keep trying to whittle it down to nothing. So I think Matt's right to go for all the marbles and just legalize it. After all, it's an herb, it's not a drug, and it is about freedom, like Mr. Rosenbaum said. It doesn't harm anyone, as long as you don't get behind the wheel, right after you smoke. You smoke it in your own home or smoke it with friends at a party, and don't get behind the wheel, you're not going to harm anybody. Like I said, I'm running for Macomb County prosecutor, and I'm not going to be harassing people. I'm not going to be dragging people out of their homes. I'm going to tell the police chiefs in Macomb County, don't have police officers come to homes where they're growing marijuana and take them out of their homes at gunpoint, which has happened. I know a friend of mine's sister and her husband were taken out of their homes. They had to walk backwards out of their homes with guns to their head in Clinton Township, which is also where my opponent's dad was the police chief, ironically enough. And my opponent, Eric Smith, will not allow his assistant prosecutors to run for prosecutor, which is against the 9th Amendment. You have a right to run for any office in this country if you're qualified. Nor will he allow any of his assistant prosecutors to support me. If they support me, they're fired. If they put a bumper sticker on their bumper that says Mike Rathell, and Rathell spelled W-R-A-T-H-E-L-L, by the way, like W-rat in hell. That's the First Amendment. So he's violating the First Amendment. He swore an oath to support the First Amendment. And also, there's people who are growing medical marijuana in Macomb County, in Oakland County, and Wayne County. I've heard horror stories about it. And I think Matt's right. We have to legalize it in Michigan. We can be a trendsetter. Eventually, marijuana needs to be legalized federally, of course, because federal law supersedes state law. But we can be a trendsetter in Michigan, and we just need to get those 300 signatures. I think it's down to 298,000 now, if my math is correct. So let's do it, people. We can do it, right? All right, thank you very much.
Macomb County, standing on the steps here in our house, our capital, and what did he say? Legalize it. That's right. And this gentleman may have been a little surprised to hear about the militarization of the police. He may have been alarmed the 3rd, 4th, 15th time he heard about the cops coming into somebody's house because they have marijuana. But this is old news to us. The good news is that more and more of these individuals, people who don't, we're made of people who love marijuana, people who hate marijuana, and people who don't give a damn about marijuana, but we all can agree on one thing. It needs to be legalized. The laws are much worse than anything that this plant could ever do to us ever.
Yeah!
How about Eric Garner? You want to hear from Eric? How you guys doing out there, by the way? I want to hear you. I want to thank you for getting your butts this with this 100% volunteer effort. We're here today because of you, because we love and honor and respect you, and because we're so grateful for the work you're doing out there. And I gotta tell you something, people are not leaving this music, they're joining us. Because we're not going away, okay? We are not going away. They're going.
With all the support. This is a very important, exciting day, and I think for many years from now, they'll be able to look back at this day and remember that this is one of the greatest civil rights movements of our time. I think that today we recognize how important this issue is. I guess I wish I could tell you that I came to this knowledge at a very young age, and I want to express that. Explain to you that it came through a lot of trial and a lot of effort, a lot of hardships that I've suffered. The fact is that I've lost my job, I've lost my home, I've been drugged out of my bed at gunpoint by law enforcement. So I can tell you that today I am running for my local Thetford Township trustee position. That is, I want to be a voice for the people. I want to be a voice for the medical marijuana patients. I want to be a voice for the caregivers who take care of them. I know many of you know who I am, but some of you don't, so I want to give you a little background. I do the Genesee County Compassion Club show for the Genesee County Compassion Club. Thanks, Ben. And that's every Wednesday at 3 on FlintTalkRadio.com if you'd like to tune into that. We appreciate your audience listening. We try to give our listeners information and up-to-date news on what's going on in the medical marijuana community, such as these bills that are being proposed right now, which most of you know about, which is a lot of wasted time and a lot of repetition. We don't need that. We need our voters and direct initiative to be upheld, one that was passed by the voters by 63% majority. We know that support is out there. We know that support exists, and that's why for my campaign, I will be running on the platform that I am a medical marijuana patient and a patient rights advocate, and I want to support that. I want to show others that we can come out of the closet, we can be up front, we can be identified, and that the public supports us. That's what's most important. I haven't even medicated. I got cotton mouth real bad right now. Go figure. But actually, I'm gonna drink Ed Rosenthal's water. There. Now I'm not trying to talk over my teeth. But thank you for coming out here today. This is a very important time. It's a very important subject. So many people overlook it. I want to give you a little background on myself. I was one of the first college students ever in the state of Michigan to be able to bring a plant into school and give a speech directed over that and to talk about it and to show my class what it was. Not only just about the marijuana and what medicinal properties it has, but about hemp for industry and all the things that it can do. There's over 5,000 different usable products that can be made from it. It's a food source, a fuel source. These things need to be recognized, and I think in the future they will be. It's just right now that we're dealing with a stigma. It's a myth that's perpetuated. And like they said before us, it's a myth that needs to come to an end because it's one that is of false material. It's a contrivance. It's artificially created by those with the special interests, as Chuck said. And that's the problem with our society, is that we have today a problem that exists, and it won't be corrected unless money can be created for the solution. But we need to find other ways to do that. And those of us that have had the opportunity to step up and run for office, we are now doing that to be a voice for the people, to bring about real change in our communities. And it's important that we get your support. And that I'm from Genesee County, so if you know anybody that's in Genesee County that lives in Thetford Township, please reach out to them. Tell them that I'm running for a trustee position, that I will have a vote and a say for the people. Let them know and give them and tell them who I am. My name is Eric Gulls, and I am running for Township Trustee of my county. And I'm here to do a conservative effort to try to get this repeal prohibition kicked off. I'm one of the lead petitioner gatherers in Genesee County, and I'm trying to get other people to come to this and join us in this fight, because it's a gratifying achievement and accomplishment to go out and collect signatures and just create that awareness and arousal of people and to introduce people and to be able to share with them the knowledge that I have learned over these years. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I look forward to more of it. And I want to give the other speakers a chance to speak too, but thank you for giving me the opportunity here. Love you all.
Alright, we're here at a rally, y'all. Let's make some noise. We have a few more candidates here to speak to you today. I'd like to call to the podium a man running for Congress. His name is Lance Enderly. Are you here in the house, Lance? Well, while I give him a moment to walk up, I want to say that we are a strong movement. We are a mighty movement. We are registered voters, and you know what? We show up. We show up to vote, and we show up with our clipboards on every corner. We're going to be out there from every town in Michigan. We need your help. We need your friends to help us. We need as many people out there gathering signatures because we are a grassroots organization. And we need your support. So I want to give the mic over to our candidate. Oh, we haven't found our candidate. So there are several people who are running for precinct delegates. If you are running for precinct delegate in your area, please line up and we'll give you a chance to speak. Christine Landino, come on down. I want to introduce you to someone who has worked tirelessly in this reform movement for marijuana cannabis reform for a very long time. This dedicated, she's so inspirational to me, Christine Landino. She's worked with Michigan Normal for many years. She is a role model for us all. She is so wonderful. She has worked so hard validating our petition. So I want you to give a warm welcome to this woman who worked so hard. So please welcome Christine Landino.
Thank you, I'm so honored. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to help try to make this wonderful plant legal for all of us. It's the only way that we're ever going to be able to help our patients. Unfortunately, our government sees this big gray area in this law that, for me, it seems pretty simple. I mean, obviously, logically, if you read the law, thank you. If you read the law, I mean, if you use the brain, you got to have legal access. If you're going to allow people to use this medicine, you have to be able to purchase it. You have to be able to find something. If you're going to grow it, you need to find seeds and clones. So where this government finds this gray area, I have no idea, because it looked pretty clear to me when I signed that petition and when I pulled that lever for yes, for medical marijuana. It was all pretty clear. I mean, how much clearer can you get? So I guess we're going to have to take this path and try to legalize, and I think we can do this. I know it's going to take a lot of work. We have from now until July 9th to turn them in. We actually need your petitions by July the 5th. But what I'm going to ask you today is, if you're in the Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County areas, we have quite a few events coming up, and we would really like to get groups of 25 people at least to go out and gather petitions. For instance, June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, downtown Detroit is the Grand Prix. We need to saturate that. There's probably going to be a whole lot of people from Oakland County there, and this is going to be a good chance for us to get petitions signed. Same thing with the Canadian and the USA with the Freedom Festival. I believe that's June 28th. We need to saturate that place. There's 1 million people that come down there every year for the Freedom Festival. We need your help. So we'll probably be announcing very shortly meeting times for people to come out and help us gather signatures. And I hope to see some of these wonderful faces there, because you all are wonderful and we can't do it without you. And as I said at Grand Circus Park, what do we want to do in Michigan? We want to repeal prohibition. for coming out. Sort of expected more people, so I guess we're going to have to say that each one of you counts for 100 people. Works for me. Take care, everybody, and have a great one, and make sure you have a safe drive home when you leave.
Often imitated, but never duplicated. The Motor City's classic rock station is 94.7 CSX.
Well, it's 8 o'clock in Boise, Idaho. I find my limo driver.
Okay, everybody. On a side note, I forgot to mention that I'm also running for precinct delegate for the 11th district in Macomb County. So, and I'm running on the Republican side, so we're going to do change from within. So, make sure you vote that split ticket so you can vote for me in Macomb County. And now it's my very great pleasure to introduce a man that I've worked with for the last 10 years and even more in regards to legalizing marijuana, legalizing it for medical patients. He was former director of Michigan Normal, and I'm very proud to present Reverend Steve Thompson.
One of the crew had to go with one of the guests. Oh yeah.
Well, we gotta make some noise here today. We're small in numbers, but we got big mouths. I know we do. Yeah, we do. So join with me. Sign the petition to end prohibition. Sign the petition to end prohibition. Sign the petition to end prohibition. Absolutely. Sounding good? Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Whose house? Don't you people in there forget it. This is our house. That's right. This is our house. Let's make a little bit more noise. We need to get up and move around a little bit and show people we're excited and enthused. I know that some of you out there, I'm the first to admit, it can be discouraging when you see such small numbers, and yet we have before us here a golden opportunity to allow the voters of the great state of Michigan to once and for all end prohibition for all adults 21 and over and treat it like alcohol and tobacco and allow our farmers to grow the hemp again. We have a golden opportunity before us, and yet we look out here and we see our numbers are small. So it's easy to get discouraged. But here's the most important part. When you leave here today, go back into your own local little areas and be actively involved. Get your family involved. Get your friends involved. I heard Ed say earlier, you know, if everybody here, you know, committed to 1,000 signatures in 60 days, you know, that we could have 100,000 in no time. I heard our new executive director, Matthew Abel. Everybody hits the fireworks in Detroit. My God, we got 100,000 signatures right there. It's important that we do it in our own local communities. This is how we get the job done on a volunteer basis. And I'll tell you right now, the reason there are skeptical people out there is because history tells us that we are a year late, we're $1 short, and you can't never get a statewide initiative passed on a volunteer basis. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a Bible-believing Christian, I believe in miracles. And I believe that we can do this, people. I believe that we can do it. All we got to do is put forth the effort. Commit, if you can only commit a couple hours a week, at least commit a couple hours a week to stand in where there's a large group of people. One of our board members, Lou Berling, puts together these signs. I wore this last Saturday at Music Mushroom Festival. Archie Keel, our chapter director of Kalkaska County Normal, and his gal, Tina, the three of us, let me tell you, we couldn't even take a smoke break. This thing drew people to us like flies, and we had people almost standing in line from the time we got there till the time we ended. Yeah, we collected maybe about 400 signatures for the day's work, but we only put in, I think, about 5 hours, hard hours that day. And if everybody would just commit to doing that, just a couple hours or a few hours out of your time to really get out there where the people are. We got wonderful things coming up all around the state of Michigan. Ben Horner just passed me a slip here of things where their meetings are at. They draw large numbers of people. This is where we need to go. We need to go to the people, and we need to earnestly get the signatures and make sure we get them correctly. And then we don't take them home and put them on a shelf and let them collect dust, because they need to get down to Detroit. They need to get down to the main office so that Christine can count it. The gal that was just speaking before me, give her something to do, man. Let's put her to work. She's there every day to look at the petitions that are handed in, to go through the signatures, make sure they're valid. Let's get this job done. All right? Come on, let's get this job done. Can we do this? Can we do this? Do you believe that we can do this? Do you believe if we get this on the ballot in November of this year, do you believe the Michigan voters are ready to end prohibition? Then let's get this job done. Let's get this job done. Okay. Let's do a little singing. Well, who was here in September? Okay. You got to help me out because you'll remember this. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Then show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Whose house?
Our house.
Whose house?
Our house.
Whose house?
Our house.
And don't anybody ever forget that. My name is Reverend Stephen B. Thompson. I am running Democrat ticket in Benzie County, Michigan for precinct delegate of Benzonia Township. Get involved. Let's get this job done. Sign the petition to end prohibition. All right. Peace out, everybody. Love y'all.
Greetings, fellow Cannabinesians of the state of Michigan. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Richard Clement. I'm a member of NORML. I love cannabis. We're in Michigan State University. And you know my motto, you know I love to what? Freedom weed. Oh yeah, you know me. I'm proud that you got to, first of all, as representative, I want to welcome you all to the great city of Lansing, Michigan. This is where your legislators sleep 5 days out of the week. We have a nice cool town here in Ingham County. We got a pretty cool mayor across the street who misses all the revenue from all the cannabis shops that punked over and fell down or whatever, got ran out of town and knuckled under to the Attorney General. Who's that boy name? Oh, I don't even put it in my mouth. Bill Schuette. And I, Richard Clement, was the one who took his butt to court. I'm a family, got kids, I won't cuss. Okay? Followed the language and recalled his behind. Okay? And I'll tell you something, I am not a lawyer. He has all the three-letter agencies in the federal government, okay? Let me tell you like this. He has the DEA. He has the IRS. He has the MSP. But to take care of the state of Michigan's program backlog and to make it a true state, he needs another set of letters. IBM. You know? An attorney, I mean, I hate that I'm an IT guy, but ladies, do you go to the Geek Squad to get your hair done? No? Hey, do you go to Home Depot to get your teeth cleaned? Now, why you want to go to a bunch of attorneys in a big law firm and the Attorney General to design a computer system. Huh? Come on, man. We're better than this. We are Michigan. And I'm proud to say, I know y'all talk about, hey, you know, the drug war and how it affects people, especially people of color. And I look around, there's something lacking. There's a lack of black people, I'll be honest with it. You know, the drug war is a culture war, okay? And our children are not credit assets in a for-profit prison. We got two ways to end the drug war. You know, we can put more Caucasians in jail, put them in all those empty school buildings in the city of Detroit and convert them to jails. All right? All the buildings that these clowns in education shut down. We're going to put more white people in jail and call them jail than everybody have a job. Or the other way is it just gone doggone legalizing. Hey, how many of y'all are Spartans out here? Oh, y'all heard of Magic Johnson, Tommy Izzo, Derek Nixon, all those potheads and everything. But hey, there's another side of campus over there. It's called the Agriculture Department. Did everybody say agriculture? Can everybody say free the weed at MSU? Free the weed at MSU. Can everybody say Spartan weed is what we need? Spartan weed is what we need. Yes, indeed, Spartan weed. Okay. Oh, like you say, we got some of the coolest city here. We got to take the money. I'm like, so right for president, we take the money out of the correction system. Well, our property to take this money and turn it into the economic, like the farms, okay? We want to export marijuana to Canada, okay? We're going to do it at the federal level, okay? And our president, who we represent, and I'm supporting in 2012, is going to free the weed. Did you hear that? Yeah. He's going to free the weed because we're going to pass the doobie across the aisle, Democrat, Republican, white, black, Latino. I mean, anybody you want to know, you know, the homies on the hood, you know. We're going to free the weed to get the jobs we need. Free the weed because the nation succeeds. And we want to thank Dee, and look at here. I love breasts. You hear me? I love protect the breast. Bud for breast is the best, and for prostate cancer, any other cancer, and jobs, jobs, jobs. So last I want to finish up, 2-second drill. We got the 2-minute drill for these signatures. I want to send Bill Schuette a message. I want 1 million signatures in 60 days. I want as many as you can. Hey, I'm going to fire them again, too. I'm going to fire them again, too. It's for our children. Urban farming. I mean, let's do this for our kids. We got to pass the legacy of urban farming. Let me shut up because I love weed. Yes, indeed. I love my people. Welcome to Lansing. Welcome to Michigan. Hey, take care of them breasts because they are the best. Free the weed! Let we ring in the city of Lansing, Michigan. Let we ring in the state of Michigan. Let we ring.
Everybody. I know you were waiting for him to get up here. How you guys doing? Is it hot enough for you yet? He is a precinct delegate from Macomb County. She's going to talk to you today about why she wants to legalize it. Marijuana program. Hi guys! I want to start out. What do we want to do? Legalize. When do we want it? Now. What do we want to do? When do we want it? Now. What do we want to do? Legalize. When do we want it? Now. All right, I'm a precinct delegate from North Macomb County, Ray Township, population, I don't know, 2,500. I'm in North Macomb County. I am a medical marijuana patient. I started using medical marijuana a couple years ago. And
I've been sick basically my whole life for 38 years. And when I started using medical marijuana, my disease has gone down. I have not had any episodes. My hands, I can use my hands. Thank you, peanut butter, for the cannabis oil. We love you. So I want you guys, I want you all to get petitions. I want you to go down to the health departments, go down to your city hall, go to every Secretary of State, every park, every car show, any public event, and I want you guys to get those signatures because we will repeal the prohibition of marijuana in Michigan. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. And again, my name is Vicki Nichols, Precinct Delegate, Ray Township. Thank you.
So we have a representative from the government today, Representative Jeff Irwin, who voted against all 4 of the medical marijuana bills in the House of Representatives. So, Representative Irwin, thank you very much.
Hey everybody, I'm just going to speak for a couple of minutes because I got to get into work here in a couple of moments. We've obviously got some voting to do today, but I wanted to stop by and just thank you all for coming today. It's important what you're doing. You're taking your job as citizens seriously, and I want to tell you that it matters. At the beginning of this process around medical marijuana in the legislature this year, maybe I need to eat the mic? Is that what's going on? All right, well, I'll do my best. At the beginning of this process that we got into in the legislature around amending the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, I think many of you know that when those bills were first introduced, they were horrible for patients and caregivers. They created all sorts of onerous requirements that would have made safe and legal access end in Michigan for medical marijuana patients. And so many of the advocates came out. You came to committee. You told your story. You spoke out to your representatives. You called them in the district, and you met with them back home, and you told them your story about why medical marijuana was working for you. And you changed these laws. And now we've got these laws headed over to the Senate, and they're a heck of a lot better than they were when they were introduced. They're not perfect yet. There's still work to do, but you're here doing the work. And I want to congratulate you, and I want to let you know that the work matters, and it's making a difference. Those bills are a lot different now than they were when they were first introduced, and they're probably going to be different again when they get passed. And it's because of your efforts coming out, telling your story, talking about how this affects your family. It's so important. So I got to get in to do some voting. I'm glad you're here. I want you to keep up the fight. We're all in this together. We're all citizens together. And this government only works if you come out here and you let your position be known, you carry those petitions around, and you speak your mind in your community. So I just want to thank you so much for everything you do and wish you the best of luck getting this huge mountain of signatures you need to change this law so that we don't have a situation in Michigan where our precious tax dollars that should be going to schools and public safety are instead going to lock up people for doing nothing but smoking marijuana. It's wrong and it has to end. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Representative Irwin. There is a man of the people you can rely on. I want to introduce one of our star volunteers to you next. This man is a beast. He's in Jackson. Steve Sharp works out of Jackson County. He's running for Jackson County delegate, precinct delegate. He works tirelessly. That's his big sign. Where's the big sign on the truck? Behind me, yes. Steve had this made. I think I don't mean to tip his hand, but I think he's beaten cancer with cannabis too. So on top of being deathly ill and given a death sentence by Western medicine, doesn't look too bad to me. I don't know. What do you think? Steve Sharp, everybody.
Thanks a lot, everybody. My name is Steve Sharp, and I cured my cancer with my blueberry. My blueberry rocks. It rocked my colon cancer right out of my colon. And what happens here is people didn't believe me. I showed this oil to my surgeon. I showed it to my doctor. And people, they don't know yet. The only way they're going to know is if you tell them. I told them, you got to tell these people, you got to go out and talk. That when you're talking, make sure you got that petition in your hand. Go and tell them you met me today. Tell them that you know somebody now that cured their cancer. My doctors have seen this. What happened was, they found the biopsies, the polyps. They said I didn't have 60 days in 2010. They said, this is such an aggressive cancer, you don't understand. I said, I'm going to cure it with this oil. And in 28 days of oil, they removed 1.5 feet of my colon, and there was no cancer left in it. And they were amazed, and they're still amazed. It comes down to this stuff, though. My doctors will still not sign my card. These people behind us are putting these bills in order saying you have to have a doctor-patient relationship. You can't do that. The doctors won't sign it because they don't know yet. As soon as they know, they're going to start signing these. Better yet, we legalize it. We don't have to get the doctors involved in it. That's what we have to do. We have to legalize this. Okay, it isn't just my cancer. So now this whole plant is usable. You could make the Constitution of the United States on it. I believe that's been done. It should be redone. We should import that paper and write something on it to your legislature and explain that France is making this paper and we have to import it. Michigan could make all of this stuff if it was legal. That's how we have to do it, and this petition drive is so important. So please, go out and get this. Help the best that you can help. The reason that I got involved in this, because I already knew for years, before this was even legal, that it cured cancer. So I've been working on this for a long time. I didn't have cancer back then, so I was helping many other people in other regions of the country and that. Just trying to help make the best stuff that they possibly could make. So now we get involved in the medical issue here in Michigan. Nobody really wants to step on anybody's toes, so we're going to leave this to the stoners. See, the stoners are stepping up. Our legislatures ain't stepping up, okay? I have to prove to somebody that's still practicing medicine what this oil is about. They should know. The reason they don't know is nobody's showing them, and our government won't let them. Okay? Michigan State could produce it. This Michigan University could be producing it and making medicine out of this and proving it to people right here in Michigan. Producing jobs. You need to tell your legislature that. It isn't about us getting high anymore. They've never stopped anybody from getting high. Ever. You get it in prison. So if you can get into prison, you can get it anywhere. So just legalize it. Okay, back to running for the delegate part. So I've done all of what I can with my society, my little hood that I'm in. So I have to go after Ron Paul. Ron Paul sticks up for the people. He wants the federal government out of your life. So I became a Republican, and I put my name in there, and I said, I want to be a delegate. And today's the day. This morning you had to have this in. I did it weeks ago just to make sure I'm in it. And to my surprise, my township says in the 12 years that they've been doing this election stuff, that there's only been 2 people out of our area to run for a delegate. I'm ashamed of that. I'm truly ashamed of that. Boo! Okay. Let's do this then. Because I've been posting this and everybody else has been posting this up, I hope there's a bunch of people out there that did try to get in to be a delegate, because this year there's 3 of us. They says they've only had 2 over 12 years. How's come there's 3? Because we care this year. This year we care. We want to legalize this. This is the only way we're going to do it. Get in office. Be a delegate. Run for supervisor. Run for trustee. Run for something, because your fellow man is getting bought out up here. okay? The ones out here in the crowd, you really need to get involved in this so you don't get bought out. That's what we got to do. We got to get in there and get our voices heard. I listen to my 63% of my comrades out there. They want this legal. They wanted this for medical purposes. Well, it didn't work. They've been putting us in jail anyways. So now it's just time to go for the full legalization. So please, get a petition out here and take it with you. Make sure you take 2. Give it to a neighbor and tell them, I don't know your 15 friend. Go get 15 signatures and bring it back to me in 3 days. They can do it. They can do it. The places where you want to get a signature that's best to me is go to the courthouse. When they're going in, they're all smiles going out. I'll catch you on the way out. When they come out of that courthouse, they are pissed off. And they will sign it. So go to the courthouse. Get somebody there every day. If somebody is standing at the courthouse every day, we can do this. So please, everybody, legalize this.
That's right, everybody. That's why we're here. Please be sure to make sure you turn in your petitions before you leave and pick up more petitions to take out there in the field. We have a couple more candidates, and I want to introduce you to this man has an incredible story. I want you to hear what he has to say. He's going to sure to inspire you and uplift you. His name's Mike McShane.
Well, actually, I'm going to run the next time around 2014, believe it or not, Red Dog will be a Republican precinct delegate in Ferndale, which is Oakland County, Michigan, trying to get our own agenda on board with the Republicans, believe it or not. So I work with a lot of people I never liked, and that would probably be the best example, so we'll see how I do with that. I was wondering what to talk about today, and on the way out, I was listening to a tune on the way to the bus. We all took a MOCC bus here. I was listening to the song, Something to Believe In. You are something to believe in. So, thank you for that. It's funny, 5 or 6 weeks ago, I was at a Compassion Club down